Christmas, New Year, April Fools, Valentine's Day. What comes to mind when you hear these words? What if I say to you sports camp, camping, visiting grandparents, going to the beach? If you've guessed holidays and the activities, you've guessed correctly. Welcome to Grade 4's Language Arts lesson today. We're going to be looking at looking backwards, looking forward, or past and future. We're going to be looking at how to do a comprehension exercise, and we're going to learn about expressing opinions. First, we're going to have a look at the dates on the board. We have the 14th of February, the 1st of April, the 31st of October, the 25th of December, 31st of December, and the 1st of January. Now, all of these are important dates of holidays that happen all around the world. We're going to try and guess what the different dates actually signify. Let's look at the first one, the 14th of February. Can you guess what that is? Valentine's Day. Now, what is Valentine's Day? Valentine's Day is an international celebration and known as the Global Day of Love. Love for family members, love between spouses, love for brothers and sisters, love for friends, love for your teachers. It signifies love, and it's a dedicated day to everybody who you love. Then the next one, the 1st of April. April Fool's Day. What is April Fool's Day? It's celebrated in some parts of the world as a national public holiday, although not in most of the world, but some people do actually have a day off on April Fool's Day. April Fool's Day stems from medieval times when there was a king and a jester, also known as a fool. He was the funny guy with clown hats and clown makeup on, the guy that used to make jokes for the king. He was called a fool. Today we celebrate a day which was dedicated to the fool because the fool used to bring a lot of joy to the king's life. He used to make people laugh, he used to be entertainment for the king. So people today still celebrate a day which is dedicated to the fool, April Fool's Day. However, it's been modified in today's time, and we now use April Fool's Day as a national day of pranks, playing jokes on each other. Okay, 31st of October is another fun holiday. Can you guess what that is? Halloween, the 31st of October. What is Halloween? Right, there is a history about Halloween. It used to be called All Hallows Eve, and it was believed that it was the one day of the year when the spirit world and our world were separated by a very thin layer. So the layer between our world and what was known or seen as the spirit world was at the very thinnest that it could be. And it also meant that spirits would transfer from here to there and back again and back and to and fro, and they would move around from our world to their world because it was thin enough, the veil was thin enough for the spirits to pass through. This is an ancient belief, and today we aren't focused that much on that belief. However, it is also a day of fun and dress up. It is the day of trick or treat. So in today's age, on Halloween Day, we dress up as various scary characters like witches, goblins, anything really that you can think of. You get dressed up, you go knock on people's doors, and you ask them for candy. If they don't give you candy, you get to play a trick on them. Let's move on to the next one, the 25th of December. Now, the 25th of December is Christmas Day. It is the day that Jesus Christ was born, and Christians celebrate this tradition widely all over the world. It is also a modified day. In earlier years, there weren't presents and it was less fun. Today, in modern times, we use the day to give our loved ones presents. We all go to each other's families' houses and we have nice food and we swap out presents. Also a fun day. Jesus was born on this day. So it's Jesus' birthday. The 25th of December is Jesus' birthday. Then the 31st of December. Now, the 31st of December and the 1st of January both signify New Year. The 31st of December is Old Year's Eve. It's a day of celebration. We are celebrating the moving or passage from the old year to the new year. So on the 31st of December, we celebrate the coming of the new year, which is on the 1st of January. So this is a year or a day of celebration. Then the 1st of January. This is New Year's Day. It is celebrated because it is the new day the first day of the new year. Okay, so that's all our holidays that we have here, or some of them. These are all holidays that are celebrated in Western worlds. Okay, so like I said, in this exercise, we're going to learn how to do a complete comprehension exercise. We're going to be looking at past and future tense, and we're going to be looking at giving opinion. Okay, so there are 7 points that we need to consider when we're doing a comprehension test. First, I'm going to explain to you what a comprehension exercise or test is. So you'll notice that in your homework, you've been getting a lot of passages which you have to read. For example, something like this, with answers, questions and answers. You give the answers. So it'll be a passage with text, and it will be a story or an email or maybe some factual, informative kind of script or text that you have to read through, and then answer questions on that. Now that is called a comprehension exercise. It's reading something, understanding it, taking note of the facts, and then answering questions on the text that you've been given. Now I'm going to go through 7 steps with you on how to do a comprehension exercise, some tips that I've picked up along the way. You might want to take notes of this because you might find this really useful when doing these comprehension exercises. Okay, the first one, and I can't stress enough how important this is. The first step to doing a comprehension is to always read the questions before you read the text. Step 1. Always read questions first. Always read your questions first. Why do you always read your questions first? Well, I'll tell you. The questions that you are reading are going to stick in your subconscious mind without you even knowing it. And this, also without you knowing it, helps you to understand what you are reading. So the second point is to understand what you are reading. Now, to understand what you are reading does not mean that you have to know exactly what is written in the text, because obviously you won't be able to tell that by looking at the questions. It will, however, help you to understand what the questions, what the comprehension is all about. It will help you to understand what you are going to read. So, step 1, always read the questions first. Why? Because it will help you to understand what you are reading. How? It will stick in your subconscious memory. You will read it and you will remember the questions, and when you see the answers in the text, you will immediately be able to identify what it is that they're looking for. Step number 3, or tip number 3. Don't take too long to read the text. Now guys, don't take too long, don't spend too much time or too little time on reading the text. You've got to get it just right. So you're not going to hurry it through and read it and without reading every word. Read every word in the text, but don't spend too much time trying to sound words or read words or understand words that you don't maybe understand. Don't take too much time to read the text. Number 4, as I said, make notes of anything you don't understand. If there is something there you don't understand, look at the word, write it down, or underline with a ruler and a pen and move on. Make notes. Making notes of any words you don't understand is extremely important on your level, which is grade 4. It is extremely important because it will help you with your vocabulary. So you make notes of the words you don't understand and you ask your teacher what these words mean. This is to improve and enrich and enlarge your vocabulary. Step number 5. Identify the facts and pay attention to detail. Okay, so because you've read the questions first, you will immediately be able to identify any facts or details. Your brain is subconsciously programmed to do that by reading the questions first. Identify facts and details. Why? Because these facts and details will most likely be part of your questions. Number 6. Guys, do not try and memorize whatever it is you're reading. There is no way on earth that in the given time that you have, that you will be able to memorize every single word in the text or passage that you are reading. So do not try and memorize anything. Trying to memorize will only confuse you and you'll forget all the facts that you've read and seen. Then number 7, very, very important. The answers to the questions will always be in your text. It will always be in the passage that you are reading. So don't think of looking outside or elsewhere for the answers to the text. The answers will always be in the passage that you are given. Okay. So we now know what a comprehension exercise is. We've said that it is a passage that you are given to read, and there are questions that follow that exercise, that passage that you have read. The exercise is in answering the questions. Let's just review what they are again. It's the steps to writing or to doing a comprehension exercise, a reading exercise. Always read the questions first. Questions first before you read the passage. This will help you to understand what you are reading. How? By subconsciously sticking in your mind. Don't spend too much time or too little time reading the text. Don't take too long to read your text. Make notes of any words that you don't understand so that you can ask your teacher why, so that you can improve your vocabulary. Right. Identify the facts and the details. Don't try and memorize the text. You will not be able to do it. You'll confuse yourself and you will forget what you have already taken in. Then remember the last thing, number 7, the answers to the questions will always be in the text provided.